How's it going, everybody? You got the Razman coming at you here with another video, and today is something completely unplanned because, as you can see by the title, I am testing new render settings. So as my way of doing so, we're just going to quickly discuss my plans for the channel, or my thought about plans, and then of course you, the subscribers, will let me know what you think about it. Today on the Razman's Reality. Alright guys and gals, I'm going to keep this really short and sweet and to the point. Obviously I didn't plan on doing a video today since the Q&A answers video was so long and it took literally all day to both film and render. But that's part of the reason that I'm here right now talking to all of you, is that granted it was a 42-minute video, so a 42-minute and 37-second, I think it was, video is going to take a long time to render no matter what kind of system power you have. But I was watching it back today because I had to take the risk of it rendering perfectly and just uploading fine, and I'm sure if there was an issue you would have told me down below in the comments. But me being the perfectionist that I am, I was watching it back today and I was like, you know what, there's a little bit of image artifacting and flickering in that image, and I've noticed it a couple of times before, but I thought it was just because of the fact that the camera settings sometimes fluctuate between lighter and darker lighting in the room, like I was talking about during the Q&A. But no, I think it had everything to do with the MOV codec. You see, I was using the MOV codec because MOV is a video rendering codec that keeps files really small but doesn't take away from the actual codec that your video was filmed in as far as a big drop in quality. It's the best codec you can use if you need to create smaller file size and still want high quality video. However, I started thinking about it and I was like, you know what, this camera is not the C920. The main reason that I use those settings with the C920 is because I was doing things to improve what wasn't the greatest camera. I'd filmed some pretty decent to great videos with it, but it wasn't the greatest camera. This is a true full 1080p at 30 frames per second camera, as you all know, and I've made it perfectly clear. So let me just see what would happen if I was to render an MP4, which is the video codec that my videos actually come out in. My raw footage is MP4 video. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see how much it adds to render time, how much adjustment I would need to do, what I would need to do as far as adjusting bitrate or whatever. The bitrate that I'm shooting for is 14,000 with these videos, because honestly you could have random fill rate where you're not limiting your bitrate on your videos, but you risk a lot of image jumping around when you do that. You want like a steady bitrate all the way through your videos, and I chose 14,000 because, quite frankly, anything higher with the way YouTube has to compress video in order to have everybody's high quality videos now, as the fridge runs a little bit harder there, so I apologize if it gets picked up in the background at all. But with all the work that Google has to do to keep YouTube servers running and everybody's high quality videos, 14,000 is probably a lot higher than most videos can get or will get. So I'm going to choose 14,000 just to keep it steady all the way through. So yeah, that's basically the point of this video. But obviously I wanted to make it a long enough test where both you guys and gals and myself can see what the quality will do, if a noticeable difference is there or not. So I want honesty from you. If you see a big jump and a big goodness in these new render settings, let me know. If you don't, if there's no change in your eyes, let me know that too. Because as I say, it may or may not add to the overall rendering time. But the explanation of the render change took longer than I anticipated, so very quickly let me just tell you what I'm throwing around as a possible idea based on the feedback from the question that I asked at the very end of the Q&A. And I know you probably missed it if you're in a different time zone, possibly because it was so long and it took so long to get up. So make sure if you didn't see it, you can get to it one of three ways. If you're watching anywhere but the YouTube app, of course you can click on the card that will be in the video. It looks like an eye in the video. Oftentimes it's hard to see because of where YouTube drops the cards. Now cards are the new annotations, if you didn't know, and it's just so much more simpler because it works on all video devices, no matter where you watch videos on, what type of screen, it works everywhere. And you actually don't have to create your own links. You can just put it in and YouTube does it for you. So it's actually a much better system than annotations. Its only drawback is they don't have one for you to tell people to subscribe to you. You have to just tell them manually to do that now, but I can deal with that because overall it's a far better system. But anyway, it looks like an eye, and I will drop it whenever I mention something that I'm trying to promote in a video, is where I will actually drop it in. But from what I've seen, you can just find the eye once the cards are published and click on it right at the beginning of a video, and it'll say in this video, and it will talk about all the things that are promoted in the video. So if you missed it, make sure that you go back and check out the Q&A answers, is what I'm trying to say, because I did put a lot of work in that video and I do appreciate all your questions. But based on the other two ways, I forgot to mention the other two ways besides cards because I got on a cards example rant there, sorry. The other two ways, of course, would be to check the two playlists, the latest episode or latest upload, playlist, and the Q&A answers playlist, which may or may not be changed based on what I'm about to say here, because here's what the idea that I'm throwing around. This will of course all take place in September because, as I mentioned, most of August has to do with Skin Slips contest entries, which will probably start this Thursday, the day after the latest episode of Kiki Reality, which as far as I know is still happening tomorrow. So what we're going to do with the channel starting in September is possibly this: Movie Mondays, where I review something I've seen recently, or maybe, no, I don't like, we'll call it Review Mondays. We'll call it Review Mondays because there may be television shows in there as well, because I watch a lot of TV. So we'll call it Review Mondays. Tuesday we'll do Between the Ropes Tuesdays, where I talk about anything in professional wrestling, whether it be a pay-per-view review or just my general opinions on things going on in any of the companies for my wrestling fan subscribers out there. Wednesdays is going to be the return of Netflix Pick of the Week. Thursdays is going to be the return of the Recommends series, where a friend has told me about a film or a television show I need to check out, and I give either a full review if it's a film or a first impressions review if it's a TV show. Fridays would be Q&A Corner, where I will ask on Thursday on Facebook in a post for you all to post your questions for that week, and Friday will be the day that I will answer them on video. Saturdays will be the Reality of Insanity, where I talk to the guys and gals from the Saturday Night Insanity Geeky.com crew, give them feedback for the week or give them something to talk about, show my pickups, etc., etc., etc. My way of interacting with those guys, since I can't do it live. On weeks that there's not Saturday Night Insanity, we will do comic culture, which is all my opinions about everything in the comic book world. If comic culture doesn't happen on Saturday, then that will be the day, or that will be the series, that is uploaded on Sunday. And if there is no big news to discuss in the comic world, then I will use that day as just an open day and either not have a video or use it for what I've watched, which I'm considering doing once a month, or Blu-ray DVD updates, beyond, this is just the random pickups for the week. Basically anything that doesn't fit under a specific day would be on Sunday. So that's my goal. It'd be, and of course, that would be the day, as I mentioned earlier, yesterday in the Q&A, that the Dollhouse series is going to be finally finished. Sunday would be the day that that series would be finished. I would just finish the rest of those reviews until they are done. So let me know what you think about that idea. Granted, it's a lofty thing, and I make it to the point because I do work for the family truck company, so I make it to the point where I cannot handle 7 days a week of videos. But with the pre-scheduler, I don't foresee it being that big of a problem, because if I need to, I can film 2 or 3 of these episodes back to back to back, render them, and then just have them scheduled to go out on their appropriate day, which is of course the biggest advantage of being a partner. So let me know what you think about all this, but most importantly also as well, let me know what you think about the render settings, whether or not this made a difference or not. And as always, if you're new here and you like what you saw here today, please go back up. Or if you're watching on the YouTube app, head to a clickable device at your earliest convenience and hit that subscribe button, because I would love to see you again. Don't forget to like and share as well, because those always help with views. If you would like to contribute directly to the Razman's Reality and give me more material for the show, more great things to do, you can do so by either becoming a fan funder or a Patreon sponsor. Both of those cards will be clickable for you, and also of course the Patreon link will be down below in the description box as well. And as always, this is reality according to the Razman and Razman style. It's not just a catchphrase, but a way of life.